Hello guys, can you hear me? I hope so. Hello. Hello and a warm welcome to my outlook for this week and the upcoming weeks. I want to share some setups with you today. Um, if anything like the music is too loud or you hear me too bad, just write in the chat, or write a comment if you are probably watching the recording. Yeah, so I have some nice swing setups for you, which we will discuss now. So only a quick 10 to 20 minutes. Don't want to make something too big out of it. And you see the watch list here. So yeah, we have a lot of assets on the table. And generally, if you just want to have a quick glimpse, red means I'm biased short and green long, obviously. And orange is a tricky one. So yeah, let's start maybe with the Swiss franc. Yeah, I use some kind of some data here, like the COT report. I like it, but as you know, we don't have any data for like yeah 1.5 months already. But yeah, it's coming back sooner or later. But for now, we have to ignore it. Um, On the other hand, this is also caught the net data, and I use some kind of asset comparison and also seasonality. So since COT is not available right now, we have to focus solely on the comparison and the seasonality. And on these currencies, it's quite tricky for now. Let's make this a little bit smaller. So first of all, on the seasonality side, this is the Swiss franc future, so USD CHF is obviously the other way around. So we see a small decline here, if you can see it. It's only until Friday, and after that we switch to a long, and I use another tool to validate this patterns. Because the seasonality line itself, it's not that reliable, but if you check how often times this has worked and how often it didn't work, then you can validate this. And this short pattern here actually worked pretty well. Maybe in another session we can look at it at the chart. But yeah, we have to expect seasonality-wise some weakness this week before we can switch our bias to long. The asset comparison line here also is close to overvalued. This is a purple line is a dollar. So yeah, and then we had from a technical standpoint, we have this supply zone here, which is also covered by the weekly time frame. It was something like this here. This is a daily. And yeah, on Friday we got a pretty nice reaction. We got this hammer candle, if you want to call it like that. And that's also supports our bias for shorts, right, this week. So you have several options now. Maybe I can outline some of them now. The first option would be if you are watching right now, market short SL above the hammer. The second option, look for lower time frame supply limit. And the third option, yeah, to be honest, there isn't a there isn't a third option. If you want to short it, I would rather either go market like this Or let's check the lower time frame, like the 4 hour. Check if we see something here. Yeah, these are volume candles. Don't be bothered by it. Zone-wise, it's okayish. It's not the best leg out here from a supply and demand perspective. Also, this long wick obviously is kind of a good sign that sellers are in control here. But on the same side, it makes our zone very big. So yeah, it's kind of not an optimal zone. But looking at the volume in this candle, it could be a valid option to maybe short it like this. Yeah, obviously the zone is almost as big as our daily one, a little bit smaller, okay, but yeah. Um, so la la, I would say, so la la. So the best entry or the better entry obviously would be on Friday on this candle here. Yeah. So anyhow, another counterpoint is we haven't had any real break of structure yet. So usually I like it more if I look for a short, for example. You will get my rules during the following sessions. It will be clear then. But generally, if I want to short something, and it's come up, bum bum bum, and I want to short lower time frame supply, I would like to see something like this first, like like that it takes out this low, so like forming an anticipatory downtrend first, and then short something like this. Yeah, and we didn't had this here yet. Okay. So yeah, let's see. Full disclosure, I am market short. I shorted this candle today in the morning, so yeah, I'm wandering around on break even more or less now. Okay, let's see. And also very cautious because seasonality is always can be delayed. Yeah, so break even, I will go here at this zone. Yeah, if the price comes down here, I will go to break even. And I will definitely take profits on this level here because then I might considering switching to long on the Swiss franc. Okay, basically the same as said goes for the euro. Okay, we can expect 1 week of shortness now, and then the thing seasonality wise, only talking about seasonality, goes to Valhalla. Yeah, so be cautious then, and these moves have the very very good hit rate, like 90%. So 9 times out of 10, this has worked. Okay. QT also, yeah, not nothing. Don't support and don't deny the idea. We have here the Larry Williams synthetic cod, which you can see in the past gets the moves pretty decent most of the times. Yeah, these are the commercials, and yeah, they are at break even now. What means break even? At neutral, if you want to say so. COT not supporting, but also not, let's assume this is accurate. It doesn't support the idea, but it doesn't deny it also. So it's okay. Yeah. So that's for the currencies. So we can summarize this week's short, carefully short, maybe look for lower time frame entries. You can look at these volume entries. These are volume-based entries. They work pretty well if you use it in the right context. So this also supports the short idea. But yeah, be careful at these levels. Yeah, maybe we see a new low. Could be, but I wouldn't bet my house on it. Okay. So yeah, let me grab a sip of coffee. So yeah, let's go to something more exotic here. Lean Hawks. I wrote a German note here. Yeah, but the problem with Linux is this thing has rollover like every 2 weeks, more or less. So not every 2 weeks, but very often rollover. So the chart looks like this. Yeah, it's really gappy. Um, and so yeah, if you didn't know, you can switch to the back adjusted chart here on TradingView and see here's a filter chart. Yeah, it's filtered for the rollover gaps. And then we get this decent looking zone here. It's also not as bad on the weekly. Obviously, we could cover here the pivot as well. It's little long sideways. Okay, I get it, but um, it's decent for me because the next other valid zone, as you saw, it was like here, right, on the daily at least. So it's way more below. And also, I don't know, can you see it on this thing here? Yeah, it's not mirroring that seasonality that good, but at least a little. And I wrote it here until beginning of December. We have a nice seasonal long pattern, which all these patterns I say to you in the stream, at least 80% win rate. So don't worry about it. So that's a thing to go long, and also the valuation model against the dollar, again the purple line, is also working pretty decent. The problem is I didn't enter here per limit order, what I usually like to do, but let me switch to this. It's actually you could argue it's still a daily uptrend or at least a weekly uptrend for sure. Fair. Um, but I don't like to buy into this weakness. Yeah, and you see this zone has already worked out. Make a little reaction. And yeah, let's see what we get here. We are not undervalued yet. That's a problem. Let's see. The market is still closed, so it all also only have open for like 8 hours a day. So you see it here. It's not 4 hours, 6 hours. I don't know. Not long. Um, that's why the 4 hour chart almost look exactly like the daily. Yeah. So you have like you see it here. You have two 4 hours candle a day. So yeah. Zone-wise, you don't have to look on the 4 hour, just look at the daily. But yeah, we want to see some kind of strength, and then I will enter market here on this one. As you know, because of this patterns like here, I wrote it here again, 14th of 11, so 11:14 for you American guys until 12:03. Yeah, beginning of December, strong seasonality. Okay. We already got a volume entry on the 1 hour, but yeah, like I said, that stuff doesn't work without other co-influences, yeah. But if it works pretty good. Anyhow, have that on a radar if you can trade it, if you have a futures account. And yeah, let's wait. Let's keep this one for the last. And then one other asset, and then we are finished. Don't want to do it for too long. Is sugar. Sugar has a very strong, you get the pattern now, what I like to trade. Very, very, very strong seasonal downside for the rest of the year, basically. You can short this fucker. It also, it's weekly downtrend. So sugar is getting destroyed. Yeah, and you have the same move. You had the same move here last year. It makes a huge move. Then we got a little bit of strength, and then we continued. Um, Anyhow, this was actually a long setup 3 weeks ago because, yeah, from around here, you see it here, like October until mid-November, we got seasonal strength. Or was it even this pattern? I don't remember, but you see it didn't play it out very nicely. We got now strength, but it's very delayed in terms of seasonality. And that's why even we got a nice level here, and you see we already reacting here on this daily level, yeah, which is already also covered by the 4 hour. Um, I'm not in it yet because I have the fear, let's call it fear, that the seasonality is delayed this year, and maybe we get also 1 or 2 week delayed for the short. But I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, and this thing gets destroyed now. The thing is, at some point we have to take, or we have to pull the trigger. I mean, if we get now this volume entry here, which is developing, you see it on the red small circle, triangle. We came from this high quality zone. We are not overvalued, but over the mean. Yeah, I will probably get in this trade. Yeah, this is one option. Another one, obviously, as we have discussed before, it's always the same. Wait until these lows are taken. After each impulse comes a correction. Look for supply then here. If there will be something created, and then short from here, obviously. And this is a trade you could probably hold for the rest of the year. Last year, if you took this trade last year, you could have been, depending how you trail or how you could be in it still from last year. So yeah. But even if you get a new low here, it would be a nice trade already. So yeah, this is sugar. If we invalidate this level and go higher, then obviously this range, I don't like it that much. We could come into this daily level here, right? I mark it out for you. And we have something above as well. But then it's a long way to go, and maybe the seasonal pattern then is already over, so then it would be no trade, obviously. We will see. Yeah, we will see. We can only trade what we see, right? But I'm pretty hyped about it for short. On the 1 hour chart, let me check on my other data feed. Yeah, on my other data feed, we already get a short entry volume based on the 1 hour chart right now. So it's looking very decent for a short. It could be that after the stream ended, I'm already in it. So in this day. Never mind. So continue. Last one, guys. Thank you for your attention. If you're still looking, I appreciate it. Obviously, I don't have to tell you about it very much. It's the NQ, the Russell, the YM, and whatnot. Yeah. What do you want more on seasonality pattern? I think it's the most well-known pattern existing on this planet. Everyone trades it, even all the retail investors know it. The end of year center rally, how not you want to call it. Um, and yeah, you can obviously you need to trade it because it plays out so often, so good. Besides, everybody knows about it, so maybe it's kind of a how do you call it? Self-fulfilling prophecy. Different entry option already we had in place. This was also a valid trade. This would be a break even. We took out this low again. On the NQ, the level isn't that nice. To be fair, it was pretty much better on the YM, but this hammer candle on Friday would be an entry. And basically, if you remember the Swiss franc, this is basically the same thing. You either could have entered Friday or today in the morning above the hammer candle, or even here if you want to be safe. Stop loss obviously below. One option, another option, same on the 4 hour. We got this, and it's decent volume leg out. Yeah, some sellers came in here on the top wick, but anyhow, could argue we broke the 4 hour structure here. And if we see a pullback right into here, I am an heavy buyer, so I assume the low is in here. Okay, could be wrong. Obviously, it's not a financial advice. It's just what I do. Um, the 4 hour entry, if you want to be more aggressive, which I usually like to do, but this one I didn't took because I wasn't on the computer, unfortunately, on this time. It is what it is with this market entries. It would be already over 1 hour in the money, and yeah, I would assume we make at least new highs here at the 25,823. And then we have to be careful managing our trade because next year I can tell you from a seasonality standpoint, um, and some patterns, it doesn't look that good for next year. So be careful then with your longs on the equity indices. On the Russell, same trade. You see it here, same trade. Don't have to overcomplicate things here. The thing on the Russell is we were undervalued already. That's good. We didn't do that on the NQ. It was very close, so that's okay. But yeah, so that's basically it. The other things are not quite that good. So NQ, Russell, equity indices, you could US equity indices long. Euro short if you find something. I didn't like the chart that much, but yeah, it's playing out quite nicely right now. Swiss franc short, but both with a grain of salt. So it more like intra-week plays. Yeah, lean hawk if you want to trade it long. It's the wrong color here. It have to be green. And the other ones we maybe discuss next week. They have some time. Okay. So thanks for listening to me, guys. It was a nice experience to do this here. Hopefully we got the COT report back soon for some more setups. Now we have to focus a little bit more on seasonality, which also works good. But yeah. All right. Have a nice day. See you soon and goodbye.